How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my Black Ops 4 Zombies wish list. And basically, I have 5 main things that I want to discuss in this video. 5 things that I think would just really be awesome for Black Ops 4 Zombies. And I will have some bonus things in there that, you know, I guess you could count it as its own thing, but I just didn't really see them being as big of a deal. But they're definitely still, you know, very important, but not as important as my 5 main things. So since the reveal is so close, like literally we're just a few days away, heck, it might even be 1 day away by the time this video goes up, I don't know. But since we're so close to the reveal, I thought that it would be a great time to go ahead and discuss these things, because there's no telling if they're going to reveal zombies at you know, May 17th. There's no telling what they're going to reveal. And so I just thought it'd be nice to, you know, get some conversation going about, you know, everybody's stuff that they're hyped about. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get into our 5 things that I want from BO4 Zombies. So starting off with number 1, we have harder difficulty. Now, there's a lot of things I mean by this, and basically, like, what I mean by this is, you know, back in Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, there were just some maps that would absolutely kick your butt, and also, you know, you didn't have the weapon kits. Now, I'm not saying we should get rid of the weapon kits or anything. I kind of liked them from Black Ops 3, and we also didn't have gobble gums back then. So, like, when I say harder difficulty, I mean, like, you know, just the game, like, the best things that you could get basically were the perks. You didn't really have a ton to help you out. You just had perks, pack-a-punch, your wall weapons, you had the box. And another thing that goes in with this harder difficulty that I need to mention because of bringing up the box is that when you had the box, literally, like, almost all the weapons in it were absolute trash. Like, unless they were pack-a-punch, of course, but without their pack-a-punch forms, they were all really not that good, except for a few. So it made it to where, like, hitting the box, you just keep spamming it and spamming it and spamming it and hoping that you would actually finally get a good weapon. And honestly, like, it was just kind of fun. Like, you were not overpowered, you know, unless you're playing like Buried or, you know, the maps that had the bank. You weren't overpowered on freaking round 1 or the early rounds like you are in Black Ops 3. Now, I like Black Ops 3, don't get me wrong, but I do want the harder difficulty back from the past games. I think that having zombies be a challenge again would be fun. I think, you know, another big thing is like Mob of the Dead, for example. Mob of the Dead, it's not the hardest map in the world by any means, but Juggernog is so far away on Mob of the Dead when you first load into that map that just trying to get to it, you have a pretty high chance of dying unless you know what you're doing. And, you know, obviously, like I said, Mob of the Dead is not the hardest map in the world, but it's just something I'm using as a comparison. And I just, you know, I think for our number 1 spot, which I'm not doing a top 5, by the way, I'm just doing 5 things I want, but for our first spot, I think that the difficulty should definitely be harder, and that is one thing I am hoping that they do with Black Ops 4 Zombies this October. Now, the second thing that I just really want them to do for Black Ops 4, and I feel like we were really starting to go in the right direction with Black Ops 3, but I feel like it wasn't really, you know, expanded upon as it could be, and that is the leveling system, the progression system. So we all know that Black Ops 3, it finally gave zombies their own progression system. So you finally had levels, prestiges, all this stuff you could unlock. You had the weapon kits, which I was talking about a minute ago, and you had gobble gums. And I know that the gobble gums and weapon kits, well, the gobble gums mostly aren't really with progression, but you had a lot to go for this time around, whereas back then when you know, log into Black Ops 2 or something, you wouldn't really have a ton to go for. You just had the skull and crossbones rank icon or whatever, and then you try and, like, play and keep it up, and it was just kind of a weird ranking system, but nothing to really go for at all whatsoever in Black Ops 2, except for, like, high rounds or, you know, any of the previous games. You didn't really have levels, so not a lot you could go for. But I think that for Black Ops 4, we should take the progression and make it way more intense. So what I mean by that is, like, basically with Gobblegums, I feel like Gobblegums, you know, you got such a good reward from it. Like, just, you freaking became overpowered. And what I think we should do is, you know, keep Gobblegums for Black Ops 4. Keep Gobblegums. They should definitely keep them. But there is a catch to that, and that is, I do not think that the overpowered ones should come back. Maybe, like, keep the classics or make new classics, but don't keep the megas. And instead of having mega Gobblegums, what they should do is they should tie it into the progression. So, you know, the Black Ops 4, or not Black Ops 4, but with, like, Black Ops 3, they had all the calling cards you could go for. Like, if you did certain challenges, like revive 20 players with Phoenix up or whatever, you would get the calling card. And I think that's a great idea, except the reward really is not good enough. So instead of calling cards that you go for, I really think that it should be actual gameplay rewards. So, like, you know, let's say get 500 revives with quick revive or something. I don't know, that may be ridiculous or not, I'm just giving an example, but get 500 revives with quick revive, and then you'll get an upgraded quick revive, you'll get a better quick revive, or, you know, get this many kills and you'll get something that one of the Gobblegums will give you back then. Like, make it to where zombies has even more replay value, and keep the, you know, you can keep the overpowered aspect of some of the Gobblegums in Black Ops 3, but make it to where it's something you can earn, and it's something that everybody can get just by playing without having to spend money. Now, I'm not saying that you had to spend a ton of money on Gobblegums to get them, because you really didn't. I didn't spend a ton of money, and I had plenty of Gobblegums, but I just think that this system would be far better for the game. And that is the second thing that I would love to see in Black Ops 4 Zombies. So the third thing actually fits in super well with the gameplay, which, as you can see, is Town from Black Ops 2. And my third thing I have on the list is we need more survival maps. Like, we really freaking need more survival maps. Like, you know, Black Ops 3 was just nothing but these big, expansive, do this, do that, tons of things to do in the map. It was nothing but maps like that. And, you know, I don't think those maps are bad. Not at all. In fact, Der Eisendrache, in particular, is one of my favorite maps of all time. But I think that we really need the survival maps back. Like, as much as people like to freaking hate on Transit, which, you know, for solo Transit was pretty terrible, I won't lie, but as much as people hate on that, Town and Farm and, you know, even Bus Depot and just these other maps that were just so simple, where, like, your main goal was just to survive. I really think we need maps like that again. Now, I'm not saying that we need freaking Transit again, but we really need some, you know, simple survival maps again. Like, you know, we're playing throughout all these DLC maps where it's all serious and there's all these things you have to do, and that's completely fine. And if they want to make every single DLC map like that, go right ahead. But we need some survival maps mixed in, like some maps just to, you know, have fun on, just to compete against your friends or whatever, and not really take things super seriously. But let's say you just want to get on and, you know, play. That's basically what they're for. I mean, literally, I have so many good memories on Town from, you know, just playing with my friends and doing stupid crap, especially on Grief, which, you know, I have something for that later to talk about. But, you know, just there's so many things that just made surviving with your friends or even against them, like with Grief, that was just so fun. Like, you didn't really have to care that much, especially like how in Town, you know, you had the Pack-a-Punch in the middle of the lava. Like, just even stuff like that, trying to get to Pack-a-Punch and then almost freaking dying. Like, it's stuff like that was just so fun to me, and I really want these types of maps back, mixed in with our classic, you know, objective-based, long, you know, thought-out maps. And that is our number 3 thing that I would love to see from Black Ops 4. Alright, so the fourth thing that just we really, 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 really need to have. And honestly, I like, whether or not, you know, you disagree or agree with me on these past few things, I know that everybody will agree with me on this one. And that is, for the love of God, don't give us only one new perk throughout the whole freaking DLC season and game. Like, I don't know, as much as I love Black Ops 3, I really don't know what they were thinking when they decided that Widow's Wine would be the only new perk in the whole game. Like, Black Ops 2, for example, had so many new perks. It had Tombstone, Who's Who, Vulturade. It had the Wonder Fizz machine, which allowed you to get all types of perks, and even PhD, which was being teased forever. And there might be another perk that you were able to get, but I can't really remember it. Black Ops 1. Black Ops 1, literally, the perks that you could get were crazy. Like, freaking Ascension. The first DLC map added 2 brand new perks, and 2 perks that we still have today. Well, except for one, because freaking Treyarch is a jerk. And I'm just kidding, but it added Stamina Up and PhD Flopper. Like, come on, Stamina Up and PhD in the same map. Like, and then it went on and they added Mule Kick, and they added it into all the other maps as well. They may have even added, or they added Deadshot Daiquiri as well, which, you know, not really a huge fan favorite by anybody, but just my point is they added so many perks into all these maps, and it kept things fresh. And even if there wasn't a perk in every single DLC map, there were multiple perks throughout the whole DLC season. But Black Ops 3, you know, when it came out, everybody was hyped about Widow's Wine. And don't get me wrong, Widow's Wine is honestly one of the best perks that they've ever made. Like, it's super helpful and super good, and can even counter Jug at a lot of times, even though I would still prefer to have Jug. But still, Widow's Wine is very, very good. But after Shadows of Evil, which was the launch map, there were no more perks. Like, they brought back, you know, the perks that we had from Black Ops 2, like Electric Cherry and, you know, Deadshot and these other perks. But like, there wasn't any new perks. It's like, there has to be new perks in my opinion, and I really, really want to see that back for Black Ops 4. I hope that every single DLC map, or almost every DLC map, has a brand new perk, and not one that's throwaway like Who's Who. You know, Who's Who was kind of terrible, but I just really want new perks back, and that would be the 4th thing that I want from Black Ops 4 Zombies. And for the number 5 final thing that Black Ops 4 Zombies needs, in my opinion, would be unique and unpredictable DLC maps. Now, what I mean by this is, if you look at Black Ops 1, and even Black Ops 2 and World at War, but I'm going to use Black Ops 1 as an example for right now. If you look at Black Ops 1's DLC maps, it was just so unique. Like, the first map, of course, was Ascension, which was a rocket test facility. And the second map, freaking, you go straight from that, which, honestly, Ascension wasn't super unique, but you go from Ascension, and then boom, Call of the Dead. It's one of the first snowy maps that we had, probably the first, I can't remember for a fact, but it was one of the first snowy maps. It was a humongous map, it had a crazy boss, and it had a celebrity cast of characters, and then you go from that, which also the Easter egg in that was crazy because you had to help the original crew get out of there. And then the third map, you went to a freaking Shangri-La, which was like, you know, this crazy jungle. It was probably one of the prettiest maps in Black Ops, you know, history. And then after that, you go to the freaking moon. Like, you go to the moon and freaking just, like, that's just crazy. Like, at the time, those maps were so unique because nobody freaking, like, would see any of that coming. Nobody ever thought that any of those maps were actually going to be a thing. It was so unique, so unpredictable, and we definitely need more of that in Black Ops 4. Now, what I'm hoping that they get rid of with Black Ops 4 is the freaking thing that they did with Black Ops 3, which was in Black Ops 3, you had these freaking pieces of paper that would, you know, pinpoint the exact coordinates to every single map. And that's why all the maps did not really feel unique, unpredictable. They definitely weren't unpredictable, whatsoever, because we already knew where freaking 3 of the DLC maps were going to be before the first one was even out. And that was just a little bit ridiculous, and I definitely think that we need to go back to how it was back then and have the maps be completely unpredictable. Now, Black Ops 3's maps, you know, there were some that were unique, like Horizon Drak was pretty unique, and Zetsubo, it was unique, but it wasn't everybody's favorite. And the maps were definitely interesting, and Revelation's probably the most unique one, but that's not really a good thing, because, you know, Revelations became irrelevant in like a few months because of Zombies Chronicles. But I just think that for Black Ops 4, we need to go back to having maps that no one can predict, and it's just completely freaking unique in every way, shape, or form, because it just, like, when you finally see that DLC trailer, you're like, oh my god, we're going to the moon. Like, it was just like stuff like that is so crazy. And those are the 5 things that I want to see from Black Ops 4 Zombies. Now, there are also some bonus things that I would like to throw in as well. You know, these are definitely important, but they're not as important as what I had in my 5. So, the bonus things that I would like to add would be sliding, first off. I think sliding from Black Ops 3 is a pretty good feature, and I would definitely love to have it back. Another thing is great Easter egg songs. Like Black Ops 1, the Easter egg songs like were actually pretty important, and you know, people actually wanted to go and get them, whereas nowadays like nobody gives a crap about them. Another thing that would be awesome, which we're probably gonna get anyways, is Dead Ops Arcade 3, because Dead Ops, like, even though it's not a huge deal, it's always nice to have, and it's always some fun to play co-op, especially. And then the final bonus thing I have is extra game modes like Grief, because just having Grief and those extra game modes alongside the main zombies would always be something nice to have, and it would just be, it'd be more to do, and it'd be fun. So that's my entire list for this Black Ops 4 Zombies wish list. And I know it was a long video, but I just really wanted to get a discussion going and talking about things that I would like to see. The reveal is really soon, guys, and trust me, I will be having tons of things to post after that reveal comes. I don't know if I'm going to post a ton the day it happens, but as soon as it does happen, just that following, like, freaking, you know, day or whatever, I'll probably start posting. So, thank you so much for watching, and get ready for the reveal, boys. It's gonna be litty.